Welcome back to Right Answers Mostly, a podcast on what you didn't learn in history class, but you really wanted to. I'm Tess Bellomo.
I'm Claire Donald. I was trying really hard not to smile, Tess.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I will speak for myself that I look crazy. We are wearing black and sunglasses, and I decided to go, very Victoria Beckham-esque and wear sunglasses that cover my entire face. I might try to imitate her at one point with something that she said that really cracks me up on her reality show, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We'll see how I'm feeling.
I'm so excited. I really am trying to emulate her. And so hopefully you guys know I'm not trying to smile, which is so interesting, which we'll talk about with her because she's a funny lady.
She is so funny. And I feel like people don't understand her. Sorry, I had a chia seed in my mouth. People don't understand her humor.
No, they don't. But I feel like they're starting to. She was just ahead of the time.
She was ahead of the time, and there will be a documentary that comes out in a couple weeks when this is aired. But we wanted to do it before just to kind of just get everyone excited for it, even though we have nothing to do with this documentary. But
we don't. We have reached out to Netflix, and we're waiting to hear back.
Call us Netflix. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Posh Spice Victoria Beckham today. Claire, what do you know about Victoria?
Well, where to begin? Spice Girls, as a child of the 90s, was everything. I watched Spice World nonstop. And I think Spice World, you literally can't find it anywhere online. You can't even rent it on Amazon.
It's like that in the Olsen twin movies. It's like, guys, release the tapes.
You have no idea how bad we need it right now. We are always on the brim of freaking out. And what Spice World would, it would be healing. Spice Up Your Life was a really big karaoke song for me for a long time. And with Spice Girls, though, you know me, I loved Baby Spice. Baby Spice was everything. She always had her little lollipop. She had blonde hair. I'm a natural brunette. So I was like, I have to be like Baby Spice.
You are very Baby Spice. I always loved Posh. She was always my favorite.
Well, so Posh was so intimidating to me, and Victoria Beckham's always been very intimidating to me. And as a young girl being so girly, I was like, I don't know how to relate to her. And then in my adult life, I'm like, God, what I would do to be Posh Spice,
Well, she has such an interesting story, and there's so much drama and still going on today. And so I thought that would be fun too, that we can end the episode talking about some of the headlines that are pretty topical, you guys. There's some beef, we could say.
Family drama.
So shall we get into it? Victoria Beckham. Can you guess her sign, Claire?
So I was also thinking about this when I was getting ready. My first instinct, listen, it is the initial coldness and the all black. I have to go with my gut and say Scorpio.
No.
Okay.
But that is probably what I would guess too. She is April 17th, 1974.
Aries. Okay, she's a fiery girl.
She is a pretty fiery girl. She was born in Harlow, Essex, England, and she is the eldest of 3 children. Her mom, Jacqueline, was a hairdresser, and her dad, Anthony, was an electronics engineer who later, she will say, was very working class, very... Guys, it is so funny. I will put it on the carousel, but if you haven't seen that iconic scene from the David Beckham documentary where she's trying to pretend that she didn't grow up rich, it's everything.
Be honest. I am being honest.
What car did your dad drive growing up? Well, it's complicated. No, it's not complicated.
Tess, I think that was pretty good.
Was that good for a posh accent?
I don't know if it's posh, but what do I know? But it sounded British to me.
Okay, that's good. I'll try to I'll throw some in there.
We'll go in it. Our British Rammies will let us know.
Yeah, guys, send us a voice note. We love when you guys do that drunk.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah, our British Rammies are always drunk singing us voice memos, and it's iconic.
It's literally everything, and we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So her dad, she grew up having a very comfortable life, and she actually also has some famous family heritage, which I wasn't aware of. Forgive me for how I might pronounce this, but her great grandfather was this German artist and revolutionary Karl Heinrich Fander.
Okay.
And her great granduncle was Minnesota politician William Fander.
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Wait, what?
No idea how he got there. But
He got
hey.
there and he was in politics.
So, of course, she grew up and she watched the musical film Fame in 1980. And what do you think she said, Claire?
I'm gonna marry that girl one day. No, just kidding. She said, I want to be famous.
Yes, that's coming later. I want to marry that girl one day. You know it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was like, I want to be famous. And so her parents were like, we got you. And they enrolled her at Jason Theater School. So
I want
yeah,
to be famous. We got you.
like, we got you. We will make you famous. No, she really, she did it all herself. She did have the Raz, which is like interesting almost to say, because I feel like we almost don't think of her because of Spice Girls. Like, she was a little bit more muted, but like,
Yes.
she is a spunky little thing. Like, she is.
That's the thing about the Raz is that it can also be very quiet. And it's like the Raz might be at its top when you are quiet because people are being drawn to you without really putting anything out there.
Wow, the Raz can be quiet. That's a great quote. So after she goes to Jason Theatre School in 1991, she enters Lane Theatre Arts in Epsom, Surrey. And this is where she studied primarily dance and modeling, which I was actually kind of surprised by because I was like, oh, she's like was a thespian. I think she was a little bit more of a dancer.
Wow. Yeah, because even imagining her doing theater, though, like I see film and TV for her, but like theater.
And so when she's in school, she's a little bit embarrassed of her family's wealth and like chicness, because I think she was with like some of the more like artsy theater kids. And so I thought that this was funny. She begged her dad every day when he dropped her off to not pull up to the front in his Rolls Royce and to drop her off like 3 blocks away because she wanted to fit in.
Well, I mean, a Rolls Royce, it's not just like, I mean, it is the luxury car. Like you are making quite a statement.
I mean, it's like one of the most expensive cars you can get. So she also was in this band when she was a teenager called Persuasion, which was like a small, like not famous band, but like she did have a little bit of experience before. The Spice Girls. Okay, so you guys, the year's 1994. Okay, it's 1994, and at just 20 years old, she sees an ad in the newspaper. And she's like, oh my God, they are looking for 4 singers and dancers and girlies. And she goes to audition.
So they were just like, we're looking for a girl group.
They're like, we're looking for a girl group. Come with a song, come with your moves, and let's fucking go. Can you name all of the Spice Girls, their nicknames and their real names?
Yes. Sporty Spice is Mel B. Scary Spice is Mel C. Ginger Spice is Jerry. I don't know her last name. Sorry. Baby Spice is Emma. And then Posh Spice is Victoria Beckham.
Ugh, I knew you'd ace it. I
I
knew
am a
all
Spice Girls girl.
I know. I knew all of them except I was like, I did not get Jerry to save my life. I could not think of that.
Mm-hmm.
So on March 4th, 1994, Victoria and 400 other girlies crammed into London's Danceworks studios. And they all auditioned. They split up into groups of 10, and they were all taught a dance routine to Eternal's Stay. So they all learn this dance, and afterwards they each have to perform a solo, right? Of course. There is a father-son management team that are the ones that are creating this girl group at the time. Their names were Bob and Chris Herbert. They didn't last long, okay? But they were like the ones who originated this idea. Mel B was the one who blew everyone away initially, and she sang Whitney Houston's The Greatest Love of All. Mel C went for the Pointer Sisters' I'm So Excited, which is really fun, I feel, and just like very her.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very funny to me because I was like, Victoria chose a song from Cabaret.
But it seems so right in a way. Also, I know that she does sing, but does she?
Okay, so this has always been a little controversial because I was looking up some TikToks this morning, did see a few clips of like what she sounds like when she's on her own without, auto-tune and produced in the studio. She doesn't have the strongest voice at all.
But like, does she need to?
But does she need to? And I always grow a little bit tired of the like, especially for women, it's always like, well, wow, like, can she sing live? Like, there's always such a stigma about that. And I'm like, so many of like male artists also can't, but they don't get like they don't get all the shit for like what their voice really sounds like. They're like able just to sort of be rock stars.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like she, it's all encompassing. She has the razz, she's cute.
But
Yeah,
again, it's more of like the aesthetic of the group and like they needed her.
right. And like some could say, like, if there's, do you even need everyone to have an amazing voice? Like that can also be hard. Like everyone has to sort of bring their own strengths.
Yeah.
Um, and her strengths were the vibes. And that's
That's
sometimes more important.
invaluable. Yeah.
Exactly. So then a month later, they were invited back to the second audition. And now there's only 10 girls in the second round, which, God, can you imagine going from 400 to 10?
No, I can't. That's crazy.
And I guess Jerry wasn't there for the initial audition, but she could make the call back for some reason because they were interested in her. She missed the original audition because she had a severe sunburn from her vacation in Spain.
Well, we have all been there, but like, honey, if you are a ginger spice, you've got to lather it up.
Honey, maybe that was like her lesson. But, there's always one sunburn where you're like, this is never going to happen to me again.
No, literally, and we can all think of it now. And by the way, you guys, I highly encourage if you ever come across someone with a sunburn, don't tell them they have a sunburn. They know.
You can feel it every second of the day. You are being punished. And so
You're
we are
being
aware.
punished. It's just the worst when people are like, ooh, you're so sunburned.
It's the same thing as men coming up to you on the street when you have like ripped jeans. Be like, do you know that you have a rip in your jeans? It's that energy. It's like, please don't. So Jerry's there too. And they're like, we love Jerry. And then all four of them are selected to form. Emma's not there yet, actually, interestingly enough. So just the other four. I know, I was shocked myself. They are all selected to form the band alongside the 17-year-old girl named Michelle Stevenson, who did not last long.
Oh no. What happened to Michelle?
She just didn't vibe with the rest of the girls. And that's when Emma came in. And then they were like, oof, I think we got it. Everyone brings like a different little piece, piece to the pie. And then the Spice Girls were formed, Claire.
Has anyone checked on Michelle? Because like truly that would be torture to be like, oh, I was in it and then I wasn't.
Basically just because like it seems like nobody liked me or like I just wasn't really getting along with them. Ooh.
I literally have a pit in my stomach for Michelle. Like maybe we should do an episode on Michelle.
God, I know. I was just gonna say we should do a longer one on Spice Girls, but I was like, let's pivot.
Yeah.
Justice for Michelle. But guys,
Michelle.
We can do Spice Girls because I know like we're just gonna gloss through this a little bit. But there's probably so much more to be said, so we can always do that.
Love.
We love our pop girly episodes. So the girls are rehearsing months and months of rehearsals, and they were like, you know what? Like we're a lot better than Bob and Chris. This like father-son duo is kind of creeping us out a little bit. Like nothing happened, but they were just like, we need better. Like I think that like we're gonna be bigger than we even expect. Like let's go to the top. And they hadn't signed a contract yet, but they did have the master recordings of their songs already. Wanna Be and To Become One.
I actually don't think I know To Become One.
When to become one, I need someone like I never needed love before. Dun, dun. Yeah, it's that one.
Maybe you are a Spice Girls girly, which by the way, I was just in Montreal for my friend's Emmett's Bachelorette. Wanna Be came on and that song is so timeless. And I remember people when it first came out, they're like, you got to get with my friends. That's so weird. What? And I'm like, no, if you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my friends.
Literally, there's no other option. Make it last forever.
Friendship never ends, okay? And we've been saying that.
And they've been saying that since the 90s.
And that's what I just love about the Spice Girls so much. It's like we are so special to grow up in a generation of the Spice Girls and Charlie's Angels. Like, are you kidding me? We're unstoppable.
It truly was like putting female friendships at the forefront of pop culture and stories and artistry. And it was like, these are the girlies. And that's what matters.
I agree.
So I absolutely love that too. But they did have the recordings of these songs. And so then Jerry was like, I guess Jerry, had some sort of plan to like steal the recordings in some way. That she was like, who the fuck cares about these guys? Like, let's just get them and let's get out. And they were like, let's build a new team. Let's go sign with Annie Lennox's manager, Simon Fuller, who was big at the time. He'll put us in the studio. and then introduced us to record labels. And that's what happened.
Well, I think that's the same guy. I might be wrong about this, Rammies. Go back and listen. That was with Amy Winehouse. I think it's the same like management group.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, because I remember Annie Lennox coming up.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Annie Lennox has come to my window. Come
Sweet
to
dreams
my...
are made of this, I think.
God, what a great song. And someone who worked at Virgin Records, which I think is who they ended up with, Ashley Newton, told Music Week the first time that they ever, like, all of the women came into the office. And she was like, I'll never forget the day that they burst in here. They caused such a commotion. They were doing this mad routine in the office, all talking at once and really being funny. And my boss came in and was like, you have to see this. So they were just like these chaotic little girlies, weren't they?
No, I truly have butterflies in my stomach thinking about it because that is so their vibe. It's just like best friends, like girling it out. It's the best.
And people were skeptical of them, Claire. Like people, of course, because it's like, how can an all-female group ever sell copies? And well, Virgin was very skeptical of Wannabe's potential. And it was an instant smash, selling 75,000 copies in just 1 week.
That's probably one of the most popular songs of all time.
So it was followed by 8 further #1 singles from their albums Spice, Spice World, and Forever. And the group is the best-selling female group of all time, selling over 80 million records worldwide. After the release of their third album, Forever, it did kind of like quickly go not downhill because, you know, like, how do I say this? It was almost like the height of them was short-lived.
It was.
You know,
It feels like it really dropped off really quickly. Like after Spice World happened, there wasn't like another big push.
there wasn't really a big push, and we'll talk about, you know, them going on a tour and all of that and their solo careers a little bit and Victoria's solo careers, but it was like this like magic for like 2 to 3 years, and then it kind of just went into like a decline in terms of album sales and the popularity, but like nothing will probably compare to the mania of when they were at their peak. And I know we've talked about this a little bit, but like this is when people were like, oh, Victoria has a certain persona. And she kind of was known all of a sudden for being like very serious and high fashion and a little unapproachable. And like we talked about at the beginning, the girl never smiled.
She never smiled, but she's so funny.
She's so funny. Have you ever heard of why, like her whole thing of why she won't smile?
No.
I looked into it because I was just like, let it, you know, let your humor shine. And she said that she truly struggled a lot throughout her childhood and adolescence with thinking that she was attractive. And she had some like pretty severe self-confidence, like body image dysmorphia, where she was just like, I am not pretty. I don't like my teeth. I don't like my smile. And it kind of became like a defense mechanism a little bit. And there's a clip in her reality show from 2007 called Coming to America, which is very funny and like so camp. And she's at lunch with Perez Hilton and they're like cracking up and she's being so funny. And then she sees paparazzi and they're leaving. And she goes, okay, hold on. Let me get myself miserable before we go out. So it's like, kind of like she was like, all right, and now I'm in character.
Right. God, history, the more you learn about it, you're like, it's so cyclical. You know, it's just like, it's a shield. We see it with Paris Hilton. We see it with Jane Mansfield. We see it with so many women who are like, I'm going to create this character to protect myself.
And then, of course, during her rise to fame, she meets the footballer, David Beckham.
God, the footballer. Also, like, imagine a cooler, hotter couple, like the star athlete and just the cool girl in the cafeteria. You know what I mean? Like, it's so high school and it's perfection.
Yeah, so she had been a little bit of her romantic life. She had been previously engaged to an electrician.
What?
Probably through, her father's company, I'm assuming, because her dad was an electrician.
Like, what, before she was famous?
Yeah, from 1988 to 1994. So, like, they literally broke up right before she became a Spice Girl, to this guy named Mark Wood. And then shortly after they broke up, she dated this Canadian actor named Corey Haim for a year. So in early 97, She started dating footballer David Beckham after they met at a charity football match. And of course, before they met Claire, he saw one of her music videos and he was like, I like you what I am seeing.
I bet he did. Oh my God. I'm getting excited thinking about it.
No, it's very cute. But he said when they first met, he was so overcome. He was starstruck when he saw her, and he was so overcome by shyness that he was like, the first time we were introduced, it did not go well. Like, I felt like an idiot because I think he was literally like, my name's David. And she was like, oh,
God, but
cute.
he's so hot. It's just like, I guess we all like don't really see ourselves for what we are.
Exactly. And you guys, like, yeah, David Beckham is, I think he is like one of a kind. Like, he's just so universally sexy and everyone loves him. And like, he's so passionate about football. And he's just like, damn,
You got
David
that right.
Beckham.
And he's so good too. I think, and we've said this before. I think soccer players and like tennis players are like the hottest
Uh, for,
athletes.
sh- for sure. Yeah. Um, and I guess a few months earlier, she was like, he'd been on my mind. He'd been on my mind.
What
Okay.
about
Because
this?
they were doing a photo session for like Spice Girls football. I don't know what that is. And I don't, but probably they were just trying to get, all the Brits together.
Yeah, I mean, they're both like so top of the British whatever
Exactly.
culture.
That they were like, let's combine forces. And I guess she was wearing a Manchester United, what's it called? Jersey? Sure.
Jersey, yeah,
Jersey.
costume,
A costume, if you will, when he went to go rehearse and perform.
of course.
Um, and and he also saw a photo of that and was like, "Oh my God, truly Wolf of Wall Street," like biting his hand.
Oh, tough
Um,
stuff.
sorry, I just watched it last night. God,
Fresh on our mind. We're going to see the PTA movie tonight, you
oh,
guys.
we're so excited. We'll be talking about it. You know that
Yeah,
we
we
will.
will.
Um, and so then the second time they met, they like really hit it off and they were like, okay, let's try to keep this relationship like a little bit on the DL at first because people are going to lose their goddamn minds, which they did. And they were able to keep it undercover for a little bit until in 1998, it was announced that they were getting engaged.
Oh my God, they kept their whole dating life secret until their engagement.
I think people knew, but they were like not really out and about in like photos. Like I think people knew, but they weren't trying to like present themselves yet as a couple. Like I don't think they were doing like red carpet appearances together.
Right, right.
She may have been at the games, but like they weren't like together afterwards. But they had a very like quick romance. I mean, they were engaged a little less than a year after meeting.
Wow, how old were both of them? Do you
I
know?
think, let's see, in 1990, I think late 20s.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Ugh, wow.
So, on July 4th, 1999, Victoria and David were married by the Bishop of Cork, and the wedding attracted insane media coverage. So, this is something like I don't really remember because I was like 8 and you were 5 probably. Like you don't remember this wedding like watching it live or anything, do you?
No, I mean, I remember the looks now from it because it's the purple, right?
It really is. And you guys know where to go. Go to at Bransers Mostly. We're going to post this on our carousel. Or I guess it wasn't live. It wasn't like the royal wedding because they had made a deal with OK Magazine to sell the photos.
Okay, magazine? That's crazy. I mean, now it's always people.
Of course, but I guess in the 90s also OK was like more chic in England than it was here. So I
Right.
think that was like where to go. Um Beckham's teammate Gary Neville I think that's how I say it. Yeah.
Soccer
Um
Bros will let us know.
Guys, let us know. Don't come for me. He was the best man, and the couple's 4-month-old son, Brooklyn, was the ring bearer.
Okay, so they had a kid before they
They
got
did.
married.
They had a little baby.
What if I was
Um,
like,
yeah, she's like, out of wedlock?
how could they?
How could you do this to me? And so most of the media, I think they like were able to like keep it pretty private. But yeah, then they had a deal with OK Magazine had
Wait,
been arranged.
hold on. You said that they got engaged engaged but not married, like within a year of knowing each other. Do you think that it was because of the baby?
Perhaps, actually,
Perhaps.
perhaps, because like that is, but I also think God, it was very much like love at first sight. They were like obsessed with each other. So maybe a little bit of both, you know.
But they seem meant to be.
I think so in a lot of ways. So yeah, there's photos that we'll post, release showing the Beckham sitting on golden thrones. Victoria's wearing a diamond, I think tiara essentially, that was created by her jewelry designer. And the wedding itself had a staff of 437 people.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I know he must have been so rich, and she probably was so rich too at this point, right?
I Yes, I think they were both really at the peak of, their careers. And
Well,
I think, he probably made a little bit more money than she did with also Spice Girls. Like, you got to split that up, you got to split up between all of the
it's
girlies. But
true.
at the time, the wedding cost $800,000 US. So
That's
now
crazy.
over $1 million wedding, which, like, of course, like, why they wouldn't have it any other way. Um, And they go on to have more kids. So they have 4 children. They have Brooklyn, who was born 1999, Romeo, who's born in 2002, Cruz in 2005, and Harper 2011.
I just think of Romeo. Our friend has a cat named Romeo.
I was honestly just thinking about that too. Just shout out to you, Lauren. and,
Shout
and
out to you, Romeo.
and Romeo, truly an icon. And do you know who their godparents are? It's all just so like British.
Yes, I don't. I'm just gonna guess that it's Elton John because he's everyone's godparent.
That was so good, Claire. Mm-hmm.
He's late. No, Lady Gaga are his kids' godparents, but it's like he is. I think so many people's goddad. Is that how you say
And
it? Godfather.
The Godfather? Well,
Goddad.
how do you say no when like you already that must be awkward. Like you're already like, godfather to like 10 different kids and then other people are like, "Wait, we just had another one." It's like Taylor
I-
Swift when all of them were like begging her, I feel.
the 1989 era. I think she became godmother to like 30 kids.
And I would have asked her to.
Of
Truly.
course. I mean, like, I think when you're asking in that way, it's not so much of like, you're going to take care of our kids if something were to happen to us, it's more of like a title.
And it's more of like the vibes and like, the gossip too. Like it's like
It's more the vibes.
exactly. So it's Elton John and Elizabeth Hurley,
Oh, really?
which, Elizabeth Hurley in the 90s was everything. Like I feel like now, with her dating.
Billy Ray Cyrus, like, someone's got to go talk to Elizabeth because we got to get you out.
Yeah, I mean, like, God, she's actually an interesting. We should cover her and Hugh Grant and the cheating scandal and everything. Because I think that was such a time.
Okay, I think that we should have an episode of like huge celebrity cheating scandals. So like Sienna Miller, Jude Law, Elizabeth Hurley.
Julia Roberts and her husband, where she's wearing that shirt, like telling her to break up with him because she was the other woman. We should do like little like fun. Yeah, it could be a series if you guys are
I think
interested.
so too.
Why not?
Mhm.
Okay, so they have kids, and we're gonna actually take a little break because when we come back, we're gonna talk about her solo career and then her entrance into the fashion world, and then all of the drama to follow.
Yay.
Okay, and we are back. We are still wearing our sunglasses. We are still looking chic as hell.
One could say.
One could say. Okay, so she does attempt a solo career because, of course, we always see this in, the aftermath of a girl group or a boy band. They try.
I feel like none of the Spice Girls had a strong solo singing career. All of them have gone on to do different things, but
I know. Isn't that so interesting too? Because like I do think there's usually one that you're, like there's the Justin Timberlake, there's the Beyonce, there is.
Harry Styles.
Oh, yes, of course. And she had like her first solo single in 2000 called Out of Your Mind. She sang it at like this charity event in front of 100,000 people. I think she still kind of got the like, ooh, like you're not great on your own as a solo artist, like kind of based on your voice. And then she also, and like, God, this was the time, like what we were talking about too, like after watching the Lilith Fair doc of like, if there was someone like a famous woman on the radio, it was kind of like there was like at this time in London, it was like Kylie Minogue was huge and Sophie Ellis Bextor, who sings Murder on the Dance Floor.
Mm-hmm.
She was big at this time, and they were kind of like, we already got the girls, so like we kind of don't need anybody else. Like we have these two, so like there's no room for you.
It's just so crazy, guys. Literally, until recently, they were like, we can't play two women in a row on the radio.
So much more recent than you'd even expect.
I
Like
know, which makes
shocking.
last summer, Brat Summer, like even more special when it truly was like the summer of girls and pop.
Oh my God, it really was like a one of a kind summer. And like the summer before too, with like Beyonce and Taylor, like
Hmm.
those were such special moments in pop culture because it's actually very few and far between that we get those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was struggling and she just couldn't really sell any copies. And so they were like, let's put a pause on this. Okay. Like appreciate the motivation, but it's just not happening. But they were like, we could. And this was like a few years later. They were like, let's do a little 2007 Spice Girls reunion tour to get the girls back together. You know, it's like about 10 years later. And I did go see this tour.
Oh, you did?
I did. I saw it with Donna and Molly and McKinley and a couple other girlies. And we took a limo there and we all wore like matching shirts. And it was such a fun night.
Oh my God. My sister and my cousin went, which by the way, the limo, I saw a limo this weekend and it truly is such a, I feel like a little kid again when I see a limo because no one's taking limos these days.
I know, bring limo culture back. And like, I feel confident in saying that.
Same.
So for this tour, they each got $10 million for the tour.
What? They each got that?
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember hearing that like almost like this was too good of an offer for any of them to pass up, even if they kind of were like, the time is done. And I do think there was a little bit of that feeling, you know, like I just
Mhm.
feel like they've never been super close. And I think
Yeah.
Victoria always felt like a little bit alienated from them. I did look up like some quotes of like what they have all said about her. And like nothing super warm, I have to say. Nothing really cold, but kind of like wish-washy answers of like, oh yeah, she's doing her thing. And I think she also became so famous because of David that it was a little alienating.
I could see that. And, you know, at the end of the day, they're coworkers. Like they didn't start this group because they were friends.
And she says this about their reunion tour. She says, I wanted my children to see that Mummy was a pop star. It was the last opportunity for them to stand in a crowd full of people screaming for the Spice Girls. And she said that when she had her hair dyed brown, because before this, she had that really short, like blonde with like the bangs and kind of like spiky in the back. Like
Yes.
it was a look, it was a
It
choice.
was verging on Kate Gosling. Sorry,
It
Victoria.
really was. It absolutely was. And we need to be honest about it.
Yeah.
She said that her sons immediately reacted by saying, "Oh my goodness, it's Posh Spice. She's back."
Stop. That's going to make you want to. That's so sweet. Wow.
I have chills. Like
Me
that's so
too.
cute. No, I did it with a horrible accent. I still have chills. I gave myself chills, you know?
You gave me chills too, Tess.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So that was fun, but like, you know, that she got that coin and she was like, and it is put to bed and I kind of like no longer want to be a part of it. But she was like, you know what I really want to be a part of?
The fashion world.
The fashion world, Claire. Because she had been in fashion, she had walked in fashion shows. She was already known for her clothes. And she was so stupid rich and famous and thin that the fashion world was just like, this is a missed opportunity. Like, why aren't we working with you?
Babe, why aren't you already here?
Babe, you should model. And she also like she got like a lot of campaigns and stuff. And remember she was taught to model back in her childhood. So
That's true.
she already knew her stuff. And so first in 2007, she launches a denim collection. Do you remember this? It was just jeans.
Yes, that kind of sounds familiar.
And it was at Saks Fifth Avenue at the launch. And then it did so well that she was like, okay, I'll do some sunglasses to go with it. And her sunglasses got really big in the United States.
Okay. That's like where and physically big too.
Physically big. I mean, guys, look, we'll post some screenshots of how we look. Or no smile.
No smile. This is great for the podcast listeners.
You guys use your imaginations, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And so then in 2008, she was like, screw just denim and sunglasses. Let's go bigger. And so she creates this lower priced at first Victoria by Victoria Beckham label. And that's when that was first introduced. So now we obviously know her brand as very like aspirational,
Elevator.
elevated. It is not cheap, but at first she was like, yeah, let's just do Victoria by Victoria Beckham to
I
get it
might
go, get it going.
I might be jumping ahead of myself, but didn't she have a Target line?
I don't have it in my notes, but she may.
Yeah, Victoria Beckham for Target.
Does it say what year?
It says 2017.
Okay, because actually that makes sense because I feel like she started like a little bit lower and then introduced Victoria Beckham line, and then like many like successful people do with higher end brands, and they're like, okay, now let's go back. Like a lot of people like Missoni for Target, it is the cycle that makes so much sense. Um, and so then in 2012, she introduces the Victoria Beckham line. And so I feel like at first people were like, Posh Spice has like a, like luxury brand. They were like, that's stupid. But then it was very successful early on. And she kind of shocked everybody because it was so beautifully curated. Like her line, like if you guys just like go to her website, it's actually like stunning.
I think that people, because she was so successful, don't realize how hard it is to actually make a mark in the fashion community and in the high fashion community. Like, she's not just making lines for Target, which would be amazing, but she is like making an imprint on that world. And people are not kind and welcoming in that world either. Like, you have to be good.
It's such a great point, Claire. Like, yeah, it is not easy. And yeah, if she had done something and just kind of stayed in like her own little bubble, but she broke into the fashion industry and they were like, okay, like you're now like, she's one of the top, like she is, of course, she's not like Dior or Chanel product, but she's like right below there. Like she's like second tier.
She is, which is crazy. And it's not like you can be rich and like have cool clothes and still not be able to pull off a fashion line like this. Like there's so much more that goes into it. Even putting on a show, like a runway
Yes.
show.
Oh my God. She really like, she surprised people. She like just, she's very impressive in this way. Like, and I really respect her for this. So it was in the first quarter of 2011 to 2012, it predicted to generate annual sales of more than 60 million, which is crazy for her first year. And it was known initially for its dresses, but it now has expanded into luxury handbags up to $20,000. She now includes separate denim, eyewear, and fragrance lines. And in November of 2011, like right when she got started, she got a designer brand of the year at the British Fashion Awards. And I think people were just like, we had doubts in you, and like we did not think this was going to look good, and it looks really good.
Wow.
And now in 2019, she launched her beauty brand, Victoria Beckham Beauty. Sometimes I go to her TikToks and like watch her do her makeup routine, and fascinating.
Is it skincare or is it makeup or both?
It's makeup. I think
Wow.
she's known for her eyeliners, I believe. Like people say her eyeliners are really good. And I think that's like always like what she's trying to do of like, this is like the iconic 90s smoky eye. So it's cute.
You can't get it at Sephora yet, right? Or can you?
Actually, I'm like, what? I guess not, because I don't ever see it at Sephora.
We'll have to order some online. Put it on the card.
It's truly a write-off.
It is.
And so yeah, now like she is just very like respected in the fashion community. I think she's like at a place in her life where she feels very like a sense of pride of what she has done, and she is a businesswoman and entrepreneur. And when we end the episode, we will talk about how much she is worth and all of those things. But I thought before we get there, let's talk about the drama. So first, let's talk about family drama, and then we'll talk about some relationship drama. Okay?
Let's do it.
There's always been some rumors and nastiness. The rumors
and the nastiness.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been following her wherever she goes, of course. So, what do you know, Claire, about the drama with her and her daughter-in-law, Victoria Peltz? Or no, Victoria Peltz, that's not it. Nicola Peltz.
Nicola. Okay, so there's always been rumblings that there's some tension between Victoria and Nicola. And what I heard with their first wedding, what I heard was that Nicola didn't want to wear a Victoria Beckham wedding dress or something like that. And so Victoria got really upset about that. And then I know that Nicola and Brooklyn just renewed their vows, and none of the Beckhams were at the wedding. Like, not zero, zero, not one.
Claire, you just summed everything up perfectly, and I knew that you would deliver. Yeah, they are like nowhere to be, because Victoria just posted a carousel of summer. She was like summer travels. There's like 20 photos, so many that David is just shirtless in. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, who can blame her?
I'm actually
Um,
going to need to take 5 and just go look
yeah,
at Instagram for a second.
everyone do their homework. And this time it's more fun homework than we usually tell ya.
Ain't that the truth, sister?
But yeah, they are in none of the photos. But what's interesting is that when this drama was like at the start of it, when it was happening, Victoria would post Nicola, and Nicola would comment on her TikToks, like them, like with bunny ears at Easter and stuff. And like Victoria would be like, I love my daughter-in-law. And she'd be like, best mommy ever. So I think they were kind of playing it up to be like, we're okay. And now they're not doing that at all. So I do believe that something did happen with drama between the dress. But then she did wear a Victoria spring and summer 2020 collection for her engagement photos in July of 2020. And then apparently a source says that like that kind of diffused some of the tension. She says this about the whole drama. She says, I was going to wear Victoria Beckham and I really wanted to. And then a few months down the line, she realized that her, what's it called? Atelier?
Atelier.
Atelier couldn't do it. So then I had to pick another dress. She didn't say you can't wear it. I didn't say that I didn't want to wear it. And that's where it started. And then they just ran with that, she told an outlet at the time. So she was like, there isn't really any drama. Like, she said it's fine. I felt fine. And I was like, honey, I don't believe that Victoria was fine with that.
Yeah, okay, so Nicola said that.
Nicola said that. And then everything, like rumors, like nothing has really been confirmed. There are rumors that they don't get along with Nicola's family. Have you heard this?
I haven't heard that, but Nicola's family for the Rammys, rich bitch. They are like old money, right? Old
They're
New York money.
They're old New York money. Apparently, they were they treated the wedding planners terribly,
Oh,
and
that's right.
and her dad was a monster. There's also rumors that her dad is a huge Trumper, that he's super MAGA, and Victoria and David are uncomfortable by that. There's rumors about like inheritance drama of like how much money will Nicola be getting now that they're married, and wanting to sort that out with like Brooklyn's trust. These are all the rumors.
Okay, well, what was I just going to say? Oh, I was going to say also, we have a premium episode from like 2020 where we talk about this wedding, which is crazy.
We were on it, you guys. Like we're always early. So sign up for premium if you want to hear, because we go through all of it in a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels to me, after hearing all of that, it makes more sense with like the family drama, just all of the above, because the dress seems crazy to have a complete falling out over, and from Nicola's side, you should be able to wear whatever you want on your wedding day. And like, it seems a little silly to make them wear that, even though it is special and your mother-in-law is a gorgeous designer.
Right. Like, I'm sure that she felt a little slighted, or felt sensitive about, and like, guys, Victoria's allowed to have her feelings. I think it is remnants of the Kate Middleton, Meghan Markle drama about the dress. Like, the dress was the icing on top, the cherry on top, perhaps, but it wasn't the whole picture.
Right. Like, there clearly was other tension beyond that, because like, you don't have a complete falling out with your son because of that. And who knows what the relationship is between Brooklyn and his family, but it does not seem like Nicola is vibing with the Beckhams.
Exactly. So those are the rumors, you guys, about that. And I'm curious to see how that all plays out. And we must talk about the cheating scandal of David Beckham and Victoria Beckham before the end of the episode, because it also has never really been 100% confirmed, but she did talk about it in the David Beckham series on Netflix, saying it was the hardest time of her life. So if you guys didn't know, about 20 years ago, there were some months where David Beckham moved to Spain to play for Real Madrid. And he was spotted out with this like mystery woman, and people were like, oh, like, I think that's his personal assistant, Rebecca Luz. And at the time, Victoria was living back in London with their kids. And he denied. But then what
Until.
did but then what did Rebecca do?
Oh, did Rebecca go and run her mouth?
Yeah, Rebecca revealed it all. She did a sit down. Hold on, where did I put that?
Which
Let's
also, when I say run her mouth, like, listen, she wasn't the married one in this situation. You know, I don't mean it to sound like she went and ran her mouth, but you guys know what I mean.
Yes, Rebecca did reveal in some interview that she was David Beckham's lover during this time. And
Why is
yeah,
she taking interviews though? Like, it's just so hurtful to his family to take interviews about this.
so I think this is what she said. So she was like, um, he needs to take responsibility for this because I've never lied about a single thing. And because I'm the woman, of course, I am this monster and I am villainized. And he is still this, like, beloved footballer who doesn't get the same, I think she was frustrated about all of the media scrutiny on her,
No,
which is fair.
you're so right, Tess. And like, I forget that she is truly a person who's in a relationship with someone and that person happens to be married. But from her point of view, she's like, I'm in love with you and you're not, treating me the way I want to be treated either, you know?
Exactly. So yeah, Victoria does just say, like, she's remained rather tight-lipped about it, but it glosses over it in the documentary, and she was just like, it was the hardest time of my entire life. The media coverage on it was insane. They were like, that she was always, just hounded by paparazzi, but she was like, it was more intense than ever, and people are, you know, shouting profanities at me and saying really sexual things, and she felt completely attacked and alone. And they stayed together, though. They stayed together.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine living in a different country than your significant other and having those cheating rumors about you, and then you're just trying to leave your house and people are attacking you for it.
And people are like, oh, by the way, your husband's having an affair with his personal assistant, just so you should know.
Oh,
It's like,
I
oh
just I
my
can't
God.
imagine. And it's crazy that they did make it past that. I mean, they must really love each other.
Yeah, they made it past it, and some people can, some people
Some
can't.
people can.
Teach their own. So of course we had to mention that, but they are still going strong. So Victoria's legacy, in 2007, she was the 52nd richest woman in Britain and the 19th richest person in Britain, along with her husband.
Maybe
Oh, I
them
guess like
together.
them as a couple. Yeah. So rich as hell. They have an estimated joint wealth of 225 million.
I'm kind of shocked it's not more than that. I mean, that's so much money, but things are so out of control expensive these days. You know what I mean?
Things are out of control expensive. They also have a very like lavish lifestyle. I mean, they have tons of houses, and
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what they're spending.
Yeah, that's so true.
Also, guys, these are always, so we don't know how much money these people have, and the internet just says that they could have they got much more, they got much less. We don't know.
Mhm.
And according to The Guardian, they have this joint company together called Beckham Ventures. It's a company linked to the Victoria Beckham fashion business, was the best performing brand in the family's 3 businesses in 2012, coming close to matching turnover in a sister company that promotes the David Beckham brand. So like she is, and you guys, like, David Beckham in Britain is like, he's just huge. And so the fact that she's like right there is incredible. Like,
I think it's
incredible.
hard for Americans to really grasp on how major David Beckham was, will always be.
Yeah.
He so famous.
Stupid famous. Like, really,
Stupid
like,
famous.
just crazy.
Can I say something?
Say it.
A buzz cut. The buzz cut that shook the world. And I love a buzz cut. And seeing David Beckham with that buzz cut, he is the buzz cut.
He put buzz cuts like on the map.
With the earrings. Come on.
No, it was crazy. The only no, I won't say it.
What? Oh. I also loved his long hair with the headband.
The
He
long
really
hair with
put
the
that on
headband.
it.
Oh my
Yes.
God. It's truly like Keira Knightley's hair and Bend It Like Beckham.
It really is. That must have been the inspiration.
Like I think so. She does a lot of work with Save the Children. She's a big advocate for PETA. She is an international goodwill ambassador for UN AIDS, along with the Elton John AIDS Foundation. So, she does a lot of charity work.
Of
And
course.
I was trying to end the episode with a quote by her and couldn't really find anything insanely iconic, but found something that probably just wraps up the episode and what she's like. And she says this quote, "I think the sexiest thing about a woman is confidence, but confidence in a humble way, not an arrogant way. Sense of humor is always important."
Wow,
And th-
Victoria, I
and
agree.
that's Victoria Beckham. We agree with you. Humor and confidence is great, Victoria. So thank you for your inspiration.
Thank you for your guiding light. No, you guys, I really encourage you to go watch her clips of her old reality show because she's just so funny in a way that she never gets recognition for. She's in on the joke and also she lands the jokes. She never
she
breaks.
she never breaks, and that is like why you're like, oh, I can tell that you have been trained in acting. And yeah, there's a really funny clip of her on her reality show where she's interviewing for a new assistant. And it's also staged. Like you can tell that the assistant comes in and she's like, "Will I be working at all for David or like just you?" And she goes, "Well, as you want to." And just like does not break.
She's so good though. And when she's at the DMV and she's getting her glams on and taking her picture.
She just like leaned into it. She just became like such this persona. And I think she's fun. I think she's a great businesswoman. And I really, really like her. And I had fun researching her.
No, I respect her and I really, really like her too. Would love to get a martini with her.
Well, I'm just so excited to watch the doc and just thought
Me
this would be
too.
fun because like there's going to be so much more that will be even, released in the doc that we didn't mention here, but just like a nice starting off point so everyone can, get excited.
It's a great starting off point, and then we can follow up anything that we learned from the doc in our pop culture episode.
Of course, you guys, every Friday, you know where we're at. You
Know
know
where we're
where we're
at.
at.
We're here.
We are here, you guys. We're here every Monday, so make sure to subscribe, to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of the things at Right Answers Mostly. We have pop culture episodes every Friday. We have bonus episodes on our premium channel every month, $7.99 for those three. And have a wonderful week. And we will be back next week with a very different historical episode that is very important, completely 180 from what we have just done. But tune in.
That's what we love to do here.
Shock the world.
Shock the world, baby. Okay, bye,
And
babies.
girl power.
Your power.